When we're dealing with the information warfare, uh, how our mind, body, spirit vessel navigate through different layers of emotional um, stepping stones uh, towards the growth, elevation, or down the darkened path into the mysterious world of darkness. It's really important for us to keep a lookout for these temptation. This is how we get into almost every problem the humanity is facing, because uh, the temptation was the stepping stone. Uh, so it's really important for us to navigate these emotional layers, the stepping stones, because this information warfare is a real thing that leads to a spiritual warfare, the fight against the organic human species. We don't even know what that is, but maintaining the way how the creator made us to be, experience things through the eyes of connection. The creator or our higher self is probably the most accurate accurate information when we're navigating and looking for these stepping stones of working our um, shadow parts of our existence. So let's see what happens. Temptation is how we consume. This is the kind of um, very strong, very superstitious, but most importantly, very destructive patterns we get hooked on because we are really not recognizing the purpose, how we, the purpose, and when we need to put a halt or have a perspective regarding these temptations that's all around us, and how to protect ourselves through these difficult emotional um, layers, through navigating information warfare, and it can lead to the destruction of our existence. Let's see a couple of examples. Now, it's really something that our social structure is really designed by design. Everything is temptation. Our food, we are not really recognizing the importance of the most holistic, balanced meals to nurture ourselves. Same thing with the information. We really don't know how to process information, knowing how we get consumed by information, because somehow we are tempted to follow through the information warfare, get hooked in. We don't know how, we don't know why. Before you know it, it is a lifestyle choices regarding substance, regarding food, regarding entertainment that we use in our daily life. Before you know it, your temptation, your compatibility, or wanting to uh, be recognized through external systems and the scripts. And this is how unsuspecting the temptation is all about. Now, everything around us is a dumbed down version of human existence. A perfect example is the entertainment. Although if you are seeking, there are such an entertainment that's open, eye-opening experiences where you can tap into a really in-depth layers of our complicated emotional spiritual life. But for the most part, we get consumed by through entertainment. We think this is how the normal existence is all about. This is what the humanity is all about. Because of these unsuspecting information and entertainment, we really aren't um, prioritizing looking in depth to what this human gig is all about. So extremely dumbed down version of our existence through entertainment, like your favorite show, something that you watch and you do it repetitively. Once there is a dumbed down version of task or behaviors or personalities, things that we do in everyday basis. When we um, get um, desensitized towards the extremely unintelligent, logical thinking is really off. Practical thinking is really off. Intelligent decision making towards the protection is really off. And we are now desensitized to these kind of extremely low vibrational, dumbed down version of our existence. So when we do this repetitively, this has become the normal social structure. Now we're facing life decisions, we are behaving, we are creating families in such a way it is really not appropriate for the intelligent species. But when we do this repetitively, generations after generations, it become really normalized. This is why the contrast between the older generations and the younger generations, the practical sense is really off, and we are completely eliminating the mature um, populations of wisdom because it's not cool, this is not how we done things. But they are the ones who are maintaining the social structure, the uh, household responsibilities, because they have a different awareness. Even when you're desensitized, even it is a dumbed down scripts of human existence, we are really having a really hard time to be dumbed down, make decisions based on unintelligent, um, unpractical. Common sense is really off. Morality is really off. So when we are really struggling to face these things, but in the end, any kind of ecosystem in the wild, in the natural environment, and the people population, um, it really doesn't matter. Survival is the purpose. When we give in to temptation because it's so much easier to do, instead of going internal and asking for why and how is this practical, how is this logical, how is this high morality circumstances. When we are um, excluding ourselves from all of these factors, we are getting consumed by the external setup. So Another perfect example, someone can offer you some kind of substance. They could be family members, they could be friends, but the parents might say, well, hey, I'm really concerned about this individual you are spending a lot of time with. But it never registered because don't tell me what to do. I know what is best for me, and this is my life. And don't get involved. Don't tell me what to do. So this is another way of us getting consumed for temptation. So then you have to be cool and you have to do things that friends, so-called friends or family members offer you, and it's a way to dead end. It could be a lifetime of a misery. We don't know how to, the kind of energy deficit created because of these temptation is really hard for us to comprehend. You see in our mix, in our environment, you see these people are highly consumed by substance. It's really heartbreaking to see. It's not the most it's really difficult for people to comprehend. We have enormous level of empathy, but if you ask that, I see some of these guys go around and trying to interview these people, and it's always, well, I was struggling at home and I had a partner or friend who thought things are going to get better, and I got hooked in so deeply, and I lost everything that is important to me because of the temptation, our lack of ability to hold strength to refuse because it's not adding any kind of value to our life. So this is only happening in the mostly the human species, because the wildlife, they never really go after temptation. They are very well equipped to protect their vessel and do what needs to be done, because they don't get distracted. Often we don't see. And another area is they isolate their offspring if there is some kind of a incompatibility at once, but they aren't hanging around and continue to abuse. This is how we become such a broken, disconnected, confused generations because of temptation, because of um, lack of connection, not knowing how to overcome, not knowing how to manage our vessel appropriately, because it's a dumbed down version of generations after generations. This is why we're facing a lot of these problems, and then the following the science crowd, we don't know exactly how it's impacting your individual life. Yet we do it because it's so much easier for waiting around for a somebody externally, person, or the institutions or the systems that is designed for us. So we chase after that instead of looking internal, see if things are making sense, see if there is any improvement. So see is protecting your energy. These are things that we need to be able to look at. These aren't optional things, although we like to be lost in external world. Um, these things are how we navigate information warfare. We have the ability, if I know it, anybody can know it, and ask these questions, because we're really we aren't really worried about changing external systems. It's all about changing ourselves in accordance with survival and protecting our inherent human vessel the way that is created, the way that's intended. The other thing, I had this artificial sweeteners as an example. I used this thing. Um, Nobody uses that. Even I did some baking. I didn't have any honey or a little bit less organic sugars. Who knows what they put in inside these things, but it's making it satisfactory for your own consumption because the label said so. But regardless, you end up throwing it out. It's artificial, and it's, you know, you're not agreeing, you don't want to put that knowingly, put that in your body, use that because it's a convenient. uh, Artificial, the word is a cringeworthy, it's really anti-human, seems to me anyway. So uh, we never use anything artificial, or maybe like the phone, but to consumption, for our personal consumption, we are very concerned about these things. It's a priority for us to use something wholesome instead of going into artificially manufactured, the manipulated version of something. Same thing, if you use something moderately, the wholesome food, it's really more helpful than having a lot of optional artificial things. So we have to ask ourselves about this artificial intelligent thing. It's a nice idea. I'm pretty sure there is an enormous level of good things with that, but to maintain our organic humanness, the way how we were created, protecting our immune system so that we could be whole and not contaminated, is a really non-optional thing to learn about mingling with this artificial, uh, anything artificial, including the intelligence. So we have to stay conscious regarding these things. Just because it's shiny, it's flashy, it's tempting, it doesn't mean it's going to protect our wholesomeness as a human being. So it's really important for us to keep these important inner dialogue activated, and find out what exactly is going to protect my existence as an organic human being. You know, the everything that you contaminate with artificial uh, is not going to be the best outcome. Even anything in the grocery stores, we know these things already, but we can't connect the dots. And we know, if you speak to anyone, everybody knows about these things, but we aren't using our strength to refuse, and strength we don't have the strength to stand still and use our strength, our vitality, our knowledge, our intelligent wisdom to refuse information warfare. And so keeping ourselves exposed through the contaminated sources. This is how we navigate information warfare. So the temptation also, when we are the education system, now we have a really clear idea. Any job you can very easily be trained, and we can be successful uh, creating really a constructive development, maintain very high quality life through these kind of skill, knowledge and education. But what happened in the external world, there is an enormous level of time, effort and energy has to go into a system, and so you become a member of these social structures. Now, any kind of institutions that is set up, I think they are really trying to uh, consume the weakest, entrap the weakest. And why is it so uh, easily recognizable? Because if you go into an external systems, if you read anything, it doesn't really make any sense, but we need to sign a signature. If there is written information that require your signature, meaning your uh, acknowledgement, meaning you're participating, you're contributing, you are identifying with these systems that is created by the written documentation. Uh, we need to be able to fully understand or have a clarity regarding what is this information about. Somebody that doesn't read books because I didn't want to be overwhelmed by the information warfare. I rather use something uh, internal, my inherent knowledge, and expand from there on. So you remember when you get your first car, when you're like in your teen life, going to school and save up few dollars and buy this car, and you have to sign. And when you read it, the salesman say, well, yeah, you're not going to sit here forever and start reading these things, just sign it and be done with it, right? I mean, not so bluntly like that, but these things happen. I'd be like, what do you mean? I need to read all the things. What is these details about? He goes, oh no, you don't need to. Just sign it here. Sign here, sign here. So we done these things, and in any kind of employment things, same thing. You have like the booklet, the information, but we are able to sign, and we don't have enough time and time to do these things. Then you need to really come to terms with the fact that why do we need to have all these information, and they want our participation, but we don't have a time to get to know what we are signing. So this is in every institution. It's the same thing. We have information, but we don't have time and space to do reading before we sign anything. So we really don't know the details in the fine prints. And this is the kind of system that is around us. And then we think that anyone who is thinking these thoughts are the crazy ones, but the whole system is set up this way, and this is how we get consuming. We really don't know what we are working with. It's important questions that we need to ask ourselves, not to go and change and be a chaotic agent. Is the whole purpose is to empower ourselves when navigating information warfare, and in order for us to survive and protect our organic human existence, and in order for us to do that, we are not going blindly. And all of these navigation tools aren't optional. we need to stay focused and current and not give in to temptation, because we really don't know what is the real price. Everything the neighbors doing, or the vacations, or the high paying jobs, they are very tempted. The temptation is always there. Same thing with the big investment firms. They have all kinds of things. You can have lots of money. We know these people, and you just because it sounds good, it feels good, it looks good, it's really tempting. It doesn't mean it's the best thing for you, because you're connected to the source, because we are dealing with the information spiritual warfare. We are dealing with the ways the parasitic entry to your vessel is a possibility. It is what is happening. So we are looking for the weak spots. The temptation is one of those things, because we are living our life really tempted people. Instead of conscious living, we are living using temptation for things. When it comes to relationships, are the same thing. The temptation looks good, sounds good. It doesn't mean it is the right thing for your survival, because we are connected. We are experiencing for the higher source. We have our morality, we have empathy, we have kindness, we have ability to choose what is acceptable and what's happening in the darkness. So this is why we need to keep eye on these iffy areas of our emotional, spiritual, navigating systems. The other factor is, every time when you have artificial, like the machine, it's not a thoughtful thing. It's a machine that's got data, and it's set up to do a task. So what we are working with the when we're working with the sick care, in the sick with the sick population, they are seeking empathy, kindness, compassion, and listening, or be heard, and be there. Organic human touch. This is what have the ability to heal. The machines aren't use. We can, like the med bed scenarios. They are very practical, very logical options for towards our healing when we use that properly. But we can't allow the organic humans to be contaminated by these temptation tools. And this is why we need to keep eye on these things, and stop ourselves being contaminated by the temptation tools out there. And temptation is really maybe is not spoken about. We really don't have any kind of depth regarding these things and how we get into situations because we are tempted. It's like when you go fishing, is the fish also in a really big space with a lot of abundance of things, but they are going into this shiny new thing that just fell on the ocean or waters, because they are tempted to explore this shiny object. So this is really a basic example, but it's really not anything magical for this human existence. This is how we get distracted, we get pursued. And quick example with the employment situation, when we have to do some things that is doesn't make practical sense, logical sense, especially in the healthcare. It's really not making sense, but we should all be grateful that we have a job. We should follow the instruction. So this is the healthcare model. And we're like, well, I really know it's not really making any sense, but this is what needs to be done. So we have to follow the instructions. So that somebody will come forward and make you sign something or explain how things are done. It doesn't mean that's going to protect you and it's going to stop you being a victim for energy siphoning circumstances. Now, and think about really quickly how much effort and the time and energies these people have put in to get into these kind of employment gigs, because it is their hard work, it is their time. This is like uh, tens of good 10-20 years of education. When you put your time in like that into a outcome, we can't really look the other way and have like a meltdown and jump up and down and say, well, this doesn't make any sense. My morality, it doesn't allow me to think this way or do this way. But we become victim because we follow uh, external opportunities. You could just find something, do gardening, do vegetables, do farming or something, but we aren't collectively doing these things. The human ecosystem that is expanded with the our natural ecosystem is not is we don't even have these kind of options very often. This is not the normal setup, so we have to question these things and figure out where are we heading, and what's make it shiny, easy, looks perfect. It really doesn't mean that we get to stay connected to the source and live our life closer to most authentic accordance with your higher self, because we are following temptation and we don't want to give up things so easily, because we come across information that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have morality, it doesn't have integrity, it doesn't have practical logical sense. This is the trouble area that we need to pay attention. It seems like all of the external world is set up this way because we weren't awakened, we weren't connected, and now we have to figure things out and be awakened to the shadow work and protect our vessel, because it is the purpose of life to protect and strengthen the next generation. Hopefully, I'll come back with another topic regarding this, and thank you very much.